Radio Raheem here with John Molina, victorious tonight over Ruslan Provodnikov. You know, you were a 14-1 underdog, first of all. When you raise your hand in victory, knowing like you're that kind of underdog, people really didn't give you a shot at winning this fight, how does it feel knowing that you accomplished that goal?
I know the bookies are mad, but nah, you know, I knew what the fight was. We strategically took this fight for good reason. We knew exactly what Ruslan was, what he is, hell of a fighter, strong guy. But with the game plan that we had, that was taught to me by Shadid Saluki, and I knew I could actually utilize it in a fight like this, and it worked beautifully. So we were very confident coming into this fight.
You know, you were able to take some hellacious shots. You were delivered quite a few yourself, but did you know going into the fight that you could stand up underneath his power, or did that even surprise you?
No, everyone knows that I can take a shot. What I do is I taste his power and see what it's all about. And don't get me wrong, he's got some pop, for sure. He's one of the harder punchers that I've faced in my career. But with that being said, it was nothing that really deterred me from wanting to go in there and engage him every now and then, because I wanted to let him know that I wasn't going to just run around the whole night. If he wanted to sit there and bang, we'll bang. But I would do it as long as I wanted to. Then I got out of the outside and started hitting him with the jab.
That was what perplexed me a little bit, because it seemed like he couldn't get out of the way of the jab. You could have made this a much easier night for yourself. So you're saying that you intentionally got away from the jab just to show him that you could exchange?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I wanted him to know that if I wanted to sit there and exchange with him, I'll go blow for blow. I'm the harder puncher, hands down. He's a good puncher, but I'm a bigger puncher than him, and I wanted him to know that. I'll give him credit because he did take some great shots. I hit him with some solid shots, and he was able to take them. So he's got a solid chin for sure. But no, when we mixed it up with him, that was all by choice. It wasn't because we were fatigued at any stretch of the imagination, or we wanted to mix it up a little bit, gain his respect, and then go back from the outside.
Now, you cut him and you swole him, which is nothing new for Ruslan. That pretty much happens every night for him. But was there a moment in the fight at all, did you feel like you hurt him?
To the body, I was hurting him. People are not on the inside. If they had a mic on the inside, every time I hit him with the body, he was grunting very loud. So I knew that was a shot. Every time I tried to dig that shot into his solar plex, it was working well for me. And I believe it slowed him down. Towards even one time in the fight, I was hitting him, like looping the right hand around his elbow to hit him with the body and try to slow him down, and it worked. He was gassed by the 7th, 8th round.
He didn't seem to be able to put shots together, but he did land, like I said, you know, some one-offs that looked like they landed flush. Was there any shots during this fight that hurt you or made you step back and take a breather?
Definitely got my attention, but nothing that really startled me. Believe it or not, one of the hardest punches that I felt, well, not even a punch, but when we headbutted for a split second, I mean, that rung my bell, but I was able to get my wits about me and control where I was at and then take back over with my jab.
You know, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but he's contemplating retirement. Like after this fight, he's talking about maybe the fire isn't there anymore, the hunger's not there anymore. How does that make you feel?
You know what? Ruslan is actually a nice guy. Outside of the ring, we didn't really talk a lot, but the conversations that we have had with the translator, obviously, he's a stand-up guy. And this is a business where your heart's better be in it. If your heart's not in it, you're gonna get injured. And I know he trained well for this fight. I followed his camp. He did extremely well. And I don't know. I mean, to each his own. If he wants to hang it up, more power to him. He had a great career. But to me, like I said, if you're not all in on the sport, you better get out because you're going to get hurt.
You told me before the fight that on this night, after you won, you'd give me that name. Who is it that John Molina wants to lay that leather on next?
To me, everyone knows my career, and I'm not one to duck anybody. But everyone always says, what about a world title? What about a world title? I want a world title. So any of the champions at 140, let's get it on. Anybody at 140. And if it makes sense, 47. But again, I have a great manager in Al Heyman, Sam Watson. They're going to put it together, but I will not duck anybody.
When a fighter sits at home and watches other guys get money, raise their belts over their head, walk in with the straps, you can't help but think, hey, I can beat that guy. I can get that money. I should be wearing that belt. Give me a name. Who's out there that, if it was up to you, would be next?
You You know, I know I told you I'd have an answer, but I haven't really contemplated that. But you'll be the first one to know once I really sit down and think. You know, I wanted to get past Ruslan first, and I gave him my undivided attention. But as soon as I sit down and actually discuss it with my management, I will definitely give you a name, and you'll be the first to know.
You know, a lot of people don't know that you started in the boxing game a little bit late. I mean, especially as boxers go. You didn't have that big of an amateur career, and now you're with Shadid, and you talk about him changing you a bit. How has your style changed in these last 7 months, and what do you think that gives you an opportunity to do in the future that maybe you weren't able to accomplish in the past?
Well, I think it's pretty self-explanatory by watching the fight tonight, utilizing my reach, utilizing my jab. I don't think people ever expected me to box or use a jab, and I think it showed tonight, and it's only going to get better from here. Remember, that was with 7 months with Shadid, so he's showing me a whole new repertoire, if you will, on how to utilize my boxing ability and my God-given attributes, and I'm feeling good. It made this fight a hell of a lot easier than instead of just sitting there head-to-head and banging it out. And like I said, we planted the seed. Every interview I did, I said, we're going to fight in a phone booth, but I knew I was going to box him.
Did you win any money tonight on that 14-1 underdog?
I'll keep that to myself, but I'm sure my team did exceptionally well. And you got to remember, when you have the right people in your corner, boxing's done well for me.
Radio Raheem with John Molina, victorious tonight over Ruslan Provodnikov, and a little bit richer with that 14-1 underdog status. I know you made some money, man. Drinks on you. It was a pleasure to talk to you, Radio Raheem. John Molina.